Good morning, everyone. I'm George Canyon. On this Remembrance Day, I'm reminded to give thanks to all of our veterans. All of our veterans from all of the different wars, all of the different conflicts, and not just the veterans, but their families. I remember as a young man sitting and talking to my granddads about the Second World War and what they did and the time they served, albeit they didn't tell me too many things. I was just a kid. But that pride I could see in their faces of getting to serve and of soldiers that were friends of theirs that had fallen. I always wanted to be in the Canadian military. I wanted nothing more when I was a little kid. And to get to be an honorary colonel, well, it was probably one of the greatest honors ever given me. And not because I got to wear the uniform, but because I got to see the men and women of our country serving so proudly. And not just with courage and strength, but with compassion, which is not something a lot of people think about when it comes to a soldier. Being in Afghanistan with our troops 4 times and in the Gulf twice was something I'll never forget. For many reasons. Getting rocketed twice, you would think might be the biggest reason, but it wasn't. It was getting to see the dedication, the willingness to serve complete strangers, to protect those strangers at home in Canada. And I just heard on the news that we're forgetting our history. People are forgetting the history of the Canadian military and all those who have served, including those who just served in Afghanistan. It wasn't that long ago. And that made my heart very sad. We cannot forget that. You know, I hear people talking about, oh, you can't sensationalize war. You're not sensationalizing war at all. You're remembering those that gave their lives, those that put their lives on the line so that you and I could have the freedoms that we have in Canada. Now, albeit COVID is happening and people can't attend remembrance services, but I also heard that people are choosing not to wear poppies. And as simple an act that we can do as men and women of Canada, putting a poppy on, says to a veteran, thank you. When the veteran sees that poppy, and you might not know that's a veteran walking down the street, that's your way of saying thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done. And thank you for what you continue to do for the servicemen and women of our military currently. When I was a little boy, I remember sitting at the kitchen table in Nova Scotia, and one of my granddads who served in the Army, actually they both served in the Army, he loved to play music, and he had this big jumbo acoustic guitar. I don't have that guitar in my hands. I have this guitar in my hands. But he would sit there, and his favorite song to sing was a song called Danny Boy. And I was so infatuated with that song. I said, what? It's such a beautiful song, but what does it mean? And I remember him telling me once, he never got into the meaning, but he said, if you're in the Army, and what he meant, of course, was in the service, and you heard that song, everybody stopped doing what they were doing. I thought, wow, that's really cool to have that one song that ties it all together. And I remember getting to sing this song on Remembrance Day in Afghanistan. I don't know what year that was, but it was a very special moment. And the older I get, the more emotional I get. That's what happens. But in all seriousness, we need to teach our kids the history of the Canadian military. We need to teach them, and I'm not talking about just all the history like way back, the current history as well. Our children need to understand that sacrifice that was made for them, for their moms and dads, for their grandmas and grandpas. They need to understand the sacrifice that was made, not just by the men and women that served, but by their families. It's vital. It's vital for so many reasons. Probably one of the biggest is that so we don't repeat history. War, my granddad said, was a terrible, terrible thing. And we can never repeat it. So I'm going to sing a little bit of this song. Someday we'll maybe understand fully all the meaning and the words, but for now it's something I'll always share with my granddad. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses died. 'Tis you must go and I must buy. But come me back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow, and I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I loved you.